By the Bay, I'm David. Okay, record this on August 14th, about 5:30 in the afternoon, going up midnight tonight. So first thing in the morning, August 15th. For those on the West Coast, it's 3 in the morning on the East Coast and 8 or 9 in the morning if you're in Europe. And if you're in Hawaii, well, it came on at 9 o'clock at night. All right, so what do we got going on? And about 7 in the evening in Australian time on Thursday. This is going to be a reading on the vice presidential debate. It was announced today that Tim Walz has accepted CBS's offer for an October 1st debate. CBS announced that the network had proposed 4 debates for the VPs. September 17th, the 24th, the 1st, and the 8th. Tim Walz agreed to the 8th on Twitter. We have yet to hear from J.D. Vance. So, as Tim Walz says, can't wait to debate J.D. Vance, assuming he can get off the couch for it. But that goes with my community post here. A Harris campaign official confirmed the October 1st date and said that Governor Walz looks forward to debating J.D. Vance if he shows up. Man, they are just... they're brutal. The Democratic... Harris's campaign is brutal. They aren't sitting there being polite. They're being rather rude and confrontational with Team Trump. And again, the Republicans aren't used to that, and Trump is really not used to that. He's used to being the bully. He's not used to somebody else being the bigger person talking out and challenging him and his team. Now, it will be interesting because there's been speculation. Is J.D. Vance going to be around? Let's just look at the energy around this October debate and see if it gets pulled off. Again, the Republicans have not acknowledged that they are willing to debate on October 1st, and there could even be speculation as to who the Republican nominee for the vice president will be at that point. But right now, let's assume it's J.D. Vance, okay? Just like we should assume that Kamala Harris is going to be the president or the Democrats' candidate for president, and that somehow Joe Biden isn't going to storm into the DNC and demand his position back like Trump says in a fever dream. Entertainment purpose only. Let's talk about the vice president debate with Tim Walz and J.D. Vance. 5 of coins out in the cold. Maybe this should be a question of, will there be a debate? In this article, it mentioned that the original VP debate was going to happen in the August 13th. There were 2 dates on August 13th. Yesterday was the earliest date. All that changed when Joe Biden withdrew his bid for the nomination, and things got scrambled around. So we have people being left out in the cold, not participating here. Crossed by the 10 of coins, the tradition of having debates, the tradition of letting the American public see the candidates. That's another interesting thing here, is that the debates used to be set up by like a presidential debate commission or something along those lines. And this is the first time that that's not been the case. And you can kind of see how the debates are suffering a little bit because of that. Moderators and fact-checking and keeping candidates in line and that sort of thing. It's become as partisan because it's network-driven at this point. And all the drama that comes with it. But I think the voters are left out in the cold, and we used to have a tradition of doing things, but that tradition is no more. Queen of Swords. Tough choices to be made. In the past, 6 of coins, we took our democracy for granted, and we took the process for granted. Debates were part of the process. It's just what you did. But that process has been turned upside down. turned on its head. Current situation is the two of coins. Weighing the options. The Republicans might feel like their current vice presidential candidate, is he up to the task? Is there any value in this? They're gonna. I would imagine they want to debate because they want to take down Walz. They want to, attack his military record, talk about his DUI, amongst other things. They'd love to knock him down a peg. Whereas before, people could look at the vice presidents and, maybe they'd care, maybe they wouldn't care. It wasn't that big a deal compared to the presidential debates, which also weren't, for the most part, weren't considered that big of a deal. But is it even going to pull off? Here's the question. Overarching energy is the Page of Cups. It's like the negotiations. I wouldn't be surprised if Trump's team comes back and... No. I was going to say they would try to negotiate some things on it, but in the end of the day, they're given 4 debate dates. They could try to choose a different debate date just to say, just so that they can pick their date. But October 1st might be one of the better ones because it's the first chance after Trump has been sentenced in the New York criminal case to try and take the news cycle off of him. But it's almost like a full 2 weeks afterwards. So the Trump criminal trial sentencing is going to dominate the news cycle for a little bit before we ever get to these debates. Oh. The lesson to be learned is the Nine of Wands. Pentultimate battle. It's possible they agree to this debate with the thought that there's another presidential debate after that. They might just also think that it's not worth it. I have a hard time believing the Republicans would back out of this. I really do. Because it's free advertising. It gets their message out. And they're just, their message is a mantra to the base. It doesn't add anything. Ooh. Outcome is the Tower. Interesting. Something is going to come to a sharp end with this debate. Lord knows what that is. Whether it's a health event or fleeing the country or a change in the VP or the debate goes so horribly wrong that it just seals the deal. There's an energy around this debate that this is going to bring things crashing to a close. Maybe it's the last debate. That's weird. Not quite sure what to make of that. Okay, so let's switch to a couple of four-carders. First off, four-carder, will there be an October 1st debate? If this debate goes off, I think it's going to be somewhat definitive how people are feeling. I think people will... it might be a disaster for one team. Let's put it that way. I think it might be an unmitigated disaster. But will this debate even happen on October 1st? Page of Pentacles. Maybe. It's not a no card. Queen of Swords. There might be an agreement. Star card. And the Tower. How interesting. I want to say yes. It'll happen. There'll be an agreement. Ground rules will be laid. Folks are looking forward to it, but there's that Tower card again underneath. It was the outcome card before. Okay, I'm going to ask What's the clarification with the Tower card? From the dealing from the bottom of the deck, we have a leaving, temperance, and a celebration. Top of the deck, King of Pentacles. Oh dear. Huh. Okay, I'm doing things really different. I'm making stuff up as I go along, okay? So 3 clarifiers followed by 3 clarifiers. Things brought to an end. There's like a toxicity, a celebration, and a leaving. Like on October 1st, the debate isn't pulled off. It's like it's canceled. Somebody's left and we're celebrating. So, if Trump decided to take a trip to Venezuela with Elon, that would be something like that. And this is the Tower card here. So I threw 3 more cards from the top of the deck. These were from the bottom of the deck. Who's leaving? The King of Pentacles is leaving. So it could be that Trump is dropped out of the race. VP debate. There's temperance. There's has to be some fast cancellation or rescheduling. Over the airwaves. Unexpected. It's like, oh my God, we have to cancel this at the last moment. Now what do we do? People are celebrating, and other people are, like their world's been turned upside down and topsy-turvy. I will say it yet again, because I like to give credit where credit is due. Sometimes I give credit to the wrong person. That's not on purpose. Kim from Intuit View, and I've mentioned this multiple times on my channel, has commented that the candidates that, this is the beginning of the year, that the candidates that we think are going to be the candidates in the 2024 election may not be the actual candidates when it comes election time. And she's now 50% of the way there with the Democratic candidate. The Republican candidate's still there in the form of Donald Trump, but somebody's leaving. Now, that Six of Swords, I said the Six of Swords was leaving, it was the King of Pentacles underneath it. It could be that, that's Trump leaving. That could be J.D. Vance leaving too. J.D. Vance was was in the crowd of Silicon Valley venture capitalists and such. So he could be considered a King of Pentacles in his own right. But, if Trump goes, what would the Republicans do for a vice presidential candidate? Oh, God, what a mess that would be. What a mess that would be. How about just, I'm not going to touch on it now. There's just so much that seems that's going to be coming out this month and next month. This is just a curiosity. And the only reason why I'm not delving further is I don't know what questions to ask. Is it Vance that's leaving? Is it Trump that's leaving? I suppose I could go that way. I kind of want to know the spiritual meaning of it, but let's just ask. Is Trump going to be on the ticket on October 1st? Backroom dealings, sneaking away, getting away with stuff, planning, childless cat ladies. There's some backroom deals going on, corrupt backroom deals. It's not a no necessarily. That just seems like there's maneuvering going on. Now, is J.D. Vance going to be there? 6 of Coins, 9 of Swords, 2 of Swords, the Magician. Choices need to be made, nightmare situation, manifestation or hiding, and judgment. I want to say yes, but less likely. There's some negotiations. There's some. He was put in there by big money to help them out with their agenda. We're at a crossroads at this, though. Stress, internal stress, illusions or manifestation, judgment. Well, I don't know what to make of these. Right now, it just seems like both of them would be there. These are classic Trump cards, backroom dealings, corrupt dealings, sneaking away, getting away, stealing things. He's already started saying that Kamala Harris is going to steal the election. He's already started that process again. So I think that's all this is. The election's going to be stolen. It's fake news type stuff. This one, JD Vance will probably be there, but there's like a choice. There's a choice that's being made, and it's causing him stress because somebody new might come in. I'm leaning a little bit more that they might find a replacement for JD Vance. That he, currently would be on the block for it, but maybe he'll be negotiated out of it. I don't know if I really don't know if this debate's going to take off. That's weird. Weird stuff. I'm sorry. I don't feel like I'm not feeling particularly definitive on this video. Maybe you've noticed. And I don't like that. I like to be more definitive in my answers. My only problem I've run across is that, over the past few months, when I've tried to force an answer, not only have I been wrong, but it's like, it's like you're rushing the soup. And you just have to give it time for things to come together. There's a lot of free will and free will choices that are going to impact this VP debate, not the least of which is the Republicans have to agree to do it and have to agree that on a date with the Democrats. Real basic stuff, long before we get to the complicated, nuanced, well, what does this tower moment mean here? But what's the spiritual meaning of this VP debate? What can we expect from that? All right, let's see. Little four-carder. People being left out in the cold. How interesting. That was the foundational reading of the whole debate in the first place. And that was in the past. That's a new one. That's a new one. And that's a new one. What's the spiritual message? People are being abandoned. Maybe the economy has taken a turn, and the whole point of this presidential debate is, we've been separated for a while, and it's bringing people in. People are suffering financially with their health and stuff like that. The Queen of Pentacles is finding practical use. Maybe the message that comes out of this VP debate is finding a use for people and bringing them together. Like the good old days, like in the Olympics. The Olympics has this great unifying property about it. For the basketball fans out there who got to watch LeBron James just sort of turn into Superman and sort of put the Team USA on his back for basketball in the like a semifinal game against Serbia and carried them to a victory. And then in the championship game, watching Steph Curry just absolutely drill some of the most ridiculous three-point shots you've ever seen to help them seal the gold medal. And some of the most fun things I've seen are watching TikTok videos of guys who hate Steph Curry because he doesn't play on their team, rooting for Steph Curry because they're rooting for Team USA and Steph Curry is finally on their team. And one guy was funny. It's like, I hate Golden State Warriors fans. They're so annoying. But it's like, after watching Steph Curry play in the Olympics, I totally get why you're so annoying. Because it finally understands the magic of watching somebody who is an absolute star do something for a cause that you're representing. And I think that's stuff like that unifies people because it's no longer us versus them, red hats versus blue hats. It's Americans. And Americans unite in tragedy. The Olympic Games can unite them, but big tragedies can unite them too. As can wars. Some people just don't want to be united, though. They don't want the message. They're just going to be standoffish. Some are going to look for the help. These people outside, they can go inside and get help. Some will do it. Some will swallow their pride and say, hey, I need a hand. Others are going to be like, You're a libtard, I couldn't possibly. Or you're a MAGA person, I couldn't possibly. Underneath it all is this seven of coins. You reap what you sow. What are your values? What are your values? Do we have enough? Yes, in this country we have enough. People are valuable. Now it's just up to them to make the choice of what they're going to do with it. So, interestingly enough, you got two guys who would represent the Midwestern male ideology. And we'll see which one resonates with voters. Okay, we're going to end it here. Thank you very much for watching this video and supporting my channel. I appreciate it. I hope you found this reading insightful, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.